ya.
Oh, that's better. I can hear again. Anyway, it's Thursday morning. Yeah. Here's the story. We've got a driver's door off a 14 plate Mark 4 Mondeo 2 litre diesel, and as you can see, it's a bit dented. I'm not entirely sure whether this door has been involved in an accident with another vehicle or whether the driver and his wife were having some kind of dispute. But regardless, we decided to replace the door. It was the easiest thing to do. So now I have this spare door that I'm going to strip the parts off it. There's only one small problem. Without thinking, I removed the door from the car and I've left the window right down. I should have left the window right up, because that way I could have got the latch and everything out easier. Now I've got to somehow get this window moving. And I couldn't tell you what wires you'd have to power up through this loom because they're all black. Anyhow, not to worry, I'll sort the window out in a minute. I'll show you how I'm going to get that window moving. First up, I'm going to take the cover off this mirror and I'm going to remove this little indicator unit. These mirror covers are actually quite expensive, so if you can still keep them, you don't want to get them broken. Just get a trim tool under there and give it a prise. It's only clipped on and that will come off. There. The actual indicator unit, if you get a screwdriver just in like the edge bit, and you can just flick that and that'll just pop out. Then obviously, if I can get it, your bulb holder's there, so that'll just pop out. I can't show you how the mirror comes out because it's already off, but if you can imagine these clips here, they literally just push onto the mirror, and you sort of like, you would press this on and it'd clip on, and to get it off you've got to try and grab it and prise it off. You've got to be a bit careful though. Right, I've got to somehow try and spin this door round. And it is pretty heavy. There. Well, I need to remove this panel, but I don't want to piss around too long with this bullshit. But basically, you've got two Phillips headed screws down this back edge of the door panel, another two Phillips screws that will sit at the bottom of the panel, and another two screws down the front edge. There's a little cover in here by the door handle that you clip out with a screwdriver, and there'll be a Torx 20 screw there you have to remove. Then this little panel here will actually just slide off the door handle. You're in a grab handle, you can put like a flat blade underneath this trim piece and then just prise this piece off. There'll be two Torx 25 screws in there, and your little panel up here with a little speaker in it, you just pop that off. Unfortunately this one's already gone, so I can't show you. Actually, just one thing, before I actually pull this panel off now, I'm just going to check inside this door pocket for any kind of valuables. So we've got an empty can of Smints. What else have we got? Oh my god! Who the hell uses one of these anymore? Jesus Christ! Oh, there's something else in here. Oh, this looks interesting. Well, you know, I'm not exactly sure what this is. It certainly looks interesting, but I don't trust it. I hear in China they let the genie out of the bottle and they can't catch it. Well, I'm not about to let that happen here. So I think I'm going to put this in quarantine where it's safe, away from the general public. Now that all our screws are removed, you can literally just pull the panel and it will come away. And then you just sort of like lift it up a little bit and it will come off the top edge where the window sits. You can disconnect your window switch and then the panel's off. See, that's the inside of your panel, and you'll just unplug your window switch from here. Your door speaker there's one plug connector. You just press the tab in and pull the block connector out. And there are like 3 7mm screws that hold it on, or 7mm headed screws. You can take them out and your speaker just pulls off the door. I don't need this door module connected up in order to make the window move. In actual fact, your best thing you want is actually disconnected before you actually try and get the window moving or power up the window motor. So I'm going to pull the plug connectors out of this door module, and I'm going to remove this. It's just 2 7 or 8mm headed screws. So we'll unbolt this unit, and that can come out the way. Right, all this door lagging, it's normally bonded on quite well with some like black glue. It's quite hard to get off, so it's entirely up to you whether you want to spend some time trying to cut it off with a knife, which could take a little while, or you could just rip it off and tape it back on afterwards. So I've cut as much of this away as possible. I'm trying to be neat, even though this is a scrap door, so it doesn't really matter anyway. There, you can get that right off. Now, because this door latch assembly is actually connected to the inner part of the outer door handle, I need the window to be up in order to remove it. Now, if the window motor was actually dead, I could literally just unbolt the mechanism for the window, then move the window up a bit. It wouldn't be a problem, and then I could get the window out of the way. But because this window still works, I'm just going to power it up, and I'm going to make the window come up. I wouldn't normally do this, but where this block connector goes onto your door module, I've cut away the sheathing on the wires on the blue and the green. These are like the big wires which go to your motor. So it doesn't matter which way I power these up. One will be live and one will be earth, but I can do them either way. One will go up and one will go down. I'll show you. Yeah! Now let's just check we've definitely got power. Yep. I'm going to connect my live and earth onto these 2 wires. Doesn't matter which way round. That's the wrong way round. That's making the window go down. So I'm going to turn them round and make it go the other way. And there's our window going up. See? Wasn't so bad, was it? This inner door handle pull is going to come off with our latch mechanism. So it's a Torx 25 screw that you need to remove. And then you get hold of the actual casing and you push it down, and it will slide off this white collar like that. See? Then the other side of the handle, it will pull off this yellow little plug. Simple. There'll be like a cable tie clip here where the cable's attached to the door. You can just sort of like pop that off. Right, this next piece is absolute genius, because I need to remove the outer door handle and the door locking barrel. On the inner edge of this door there would be a little black blanking plug here. This one's already been removed, but you would pop the cap off, and in that hole there is a Torx 20 screw. So I'll just unscrew that screw until the point that this actual locking barrel becomes loose, then it will just slide out. Absolutely brilliant. And there's where your whole lock. The door handle you can then just pull forward and it will literally just slide out. Absolutely brilliant. This one's actually broken at the front, but it would sort of slide in there. Whew. I'll tell you what, it's getting a bit warm in here. How does this camera come off here? Let's go and turn that heater off. It's like, whoo! There, we're off. Right, let's get back to what we were doing. So with your door handle out of the way, there's a little Torx 25 screw there. Then, well, we can loosen it actually. It's just gone in. The whole door handle is all loose now. And don't forget your little rubber gaskets. We're nearly at the point of removing this latch now. There's 3 Torx 30 screws. So I'm going to get my socket in there, loosen them, and we'll get all these 3 out. In fact, it probably helps if you've got an extension rather than just trying to get the screws out of a socket up against here. So I can whiz them out quicker. There. At the bottom of the block connector, there's a tab you push in, which you can actually push that in and actually remove that plug connector like that. You just push that. But this whole assembly, now it's all loose, your door handle will just be swinging in the wind, but it should just twist and come out. There we go, the whole lot. Woo-hoo. I actually quite like how this mechanism, this actual door locking mechanism, and including where all your outward handle goes, it's all designed very nicely. It makes for nice and easy removal and installation. I'm going to remove this window now, so I'm just going to connect my leads back up and bring this window down. There, not all the way down, but about most of the way down. Now this bit's going to be difficult to show, but this little white piece here that goes up and down with the window, there's a hole in the glass, and this white sleeve has got like a little tab that goes in the hole in the glass to hold it. So what you do is you get something like a flat blade or something plastic preferably behind this sleeve, and you push the sleeve up towards the front of the door, and that will push the popper out of the glass. So when you push that back, you can then lift the glass out like that, and once it's out, then you can do the other side. It's the same thing this side. This side's a little bit more tricky. I'm going to put my flat blade in there. I'm going to kind of twist the tab back to release the popper in the glass, and I can pull the window out. I think that's released now. And now that window's pulled out of the clip, I can literally lift the window up and out the way. This inner window trim, it'd be easy to take this off just so you can get the window out easier. So you just grab it and just lift it up like that, and that will literally pull off. There. Wata. And now for the finale, the window it will come out from the outside of the door, by the way. You can tip it at an angle, like that, back edge up first, and lift it straight out. Wata! There you go. One window. Oh, and while I'm here with this window, you can see the little holes in the glass where the tabs on the window regulator pop into. So you see what I mean? You've got to push the tab and push it back like that, and then it will just pop out. Boom, done. Last thing, I'm going to remove the actual window regulator and motor. So start off with, you've got one Torx 30 here at the bottom, another Torx 30 up there. You don't actually have to remove them screws, you can just loosen them so much, then they'll lift up into a bigger hole and then just push them in like that. Wiring connector for your actual motor, just push the tab up and then you can pop the connector off. Another Torx 30 at the bottom of the door, and there's like a hole in the door you've got to go through to get onto that one. I'll get that undone. And last but least, one right in the middle of the door which is bolted into the motor. So I'll loosen that a few turns. Now all our screws are loosened, I can now lift this channel up, and the whole lot, it will just push inside the door. And then literally all you've got to do is like turn the whole lot on its side until the motor end comes out. And you can just twist it until the other piece comes out. There. One window regulator, complete with electric motor, ready for another day. If you wanted to remove the mirror, there'd be like a 10mm bolt here, it's already missing. And then the whole actual mirror assembly will just pull out. So, but you'd have to pull if the door panel was still on the car, you'd have to pull it away at this corner. The wiring loom from the mirror goes down inside the door, so it's not exactly easy to get to. And you'd have to get your hand inside there and try and undo that. I think the last thing I'm going to remove off this door, which has got any kind of value whatsoever, is this black shiny trim, which sometimes get broken and you have to replace them. On the inside of the door there's like a hard plastic sheathing all the way around the inside aperture. It's just clipped on. You can just pull it and the whole lot will unclip and then come off like that. Right, I'll just spin this door round once again. There, stay. The felt channel that your window runs up and down in, you can get to that from inside the door and you can like pull it out, and once it's out you can just pull it out of its runner altogether. But if you're only replacing this plastic trim, you haven't got to take the felt all the way out, just leave it in the top corner. But as obviously you've got a screw there, Torx 25 screw there, so you'll remove that, and another Torx 25 screw at the bottom there, and halfway up the runner a little clip which you can pop out with a trim tool. And now it's simple, you can just twist it outwards like that and lift it out, and that'll come straight off. I don't know what these cost, but I should imagine they're not exactly cheap. And because the single 10mm bolt that holds this mirror on has been removed, this will literally tip up like that and then slide out. There's a little ridge there which goes up into the sill, but it will come out like that and the whole mirror will come off. If you did want to go down the route of removing this sill that runs around the top edge of the door, you can just pull it towards you like that and it will come off that ridge, and then you can just pull the whole sill. If you get a trim tool on your felt window runner channel, you can literally prise that out, if I can get it in there, and we can pop that seal right out and lift that out, and then continue to pull this seal off the door ridge and the seal will just literally slide straight off all the way to the end. That's it. I guess all these bits and pieces have a use. Someone will want them. There's a couple brackets on this door if you want to take them off. They're just 13mm bolts and they'll come straight off. But I don't think I mentioned earlier how these doors actually come off. And it's literally, quite simply, there's another hinge on the actual body of the car which sits here. And there's like a 10mm bolt, top and bottom, on each hinge. You just take the bolt out and the door will literally just lift off. So once them two 10mm bolts on the hinges have been removed, you can literally just get hold of the door and lift it straight off the hinges. Bang. So easy to remove these doors. This other seal that runs all the way round like the whole door, it's a bit trickier. It's got like some little white poppers in here which go into holes in the seal, but also the seal is like stuck down. There's like glue, like a tape, all the way around as well, sticking it to the door. So it'd be a little bit tricky to replace this seal, but I'm going to leave that one alone. Right then, there's nothing more on this door that I want or that's any bloody good. Maybe apart from the wiring, maybe the terminals in the block connectors might be useful. So I might just cut them off and keep them in a spare box. You never know, do you? That's a Mark III Mondeo having some armour plating fitted. Anyway, more to the point, what the heck am I going to do with this door now?
Time to put the rubbish out.
Tonight, boys, we dine in hell.
down under.
Till the next time, guys. See ya!